you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
all in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. The Eye Test with Pierre McGuire and Jimmy Murphy.
The Stanley Cup winning Colorado Avalanche. And after 22 years, Raymond
The sickest NHL podcast. It's gonna be sick.
And welcome to another edition of the Eye Test here in the Sick Podcast Network. He is Pierre McGuire. I am Jimmy Murphy. Pierre, how are you, my friend?
Happy birthday, Jimmy.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's good. What are you, 40?
Oh, man. Now the check's in the mail, buddy. I'm the big 5'1". 5'1". I'll tell you, 50 didn't feel as old as 5'1" does. And I guess that makes sense. But I guess it was because I was having a good time with my friends up in Montreal and my late friend Jeff last year. But the good times, thanks to everyone who's been reaching out today. I appreciate all the well wishes. And I had a great birthday lunch with my daughter, who, as I told you just now, she's got that Murphy charm, got us a free cake, took it right off the tab. I don't know how. But Irish,
There are not too many free things these days.
No, exactly, especially there. And I'll tell you what, she got she got a soda, just a Coke at a restaurant now, $5 for a soda. I'm like, what is going on in this place, Pierre? But you're right. Things are just keep going up and up. So anytime you can get a freebie, I'll take it, especially on my birthday. But Pierre, lots to talk about in the world of the NHL. We're going to specifically talk about the Vancouver Canucks in a bit with our great friend Rick Dhaliwal will be joining us. Rick is all over the Canucks and really has the inside track there. So looking forward to that. But looking back on last night, Pierre, any game that struck you the most, other than Toronto-Pittsburgh, because I know that was a very interesting game that you were focused on.
Yeah, no, that was an interesting game. I mean, third period was a meltdown for Pittsburgh, but it's a learning lesson for the entire organization. They're going to have to make some decisions with some young defensemen. Ben Kindle's going to be there to last, the first rounder out of the Calgary Hitmen. But they got to make a decision on Harrison Brunick. They're going to have to make a decision on Owen Pickering, just because those two guys aren't ready for prime time right now. And they got to think about, especially for Brunick, they got to think about World Junior and what they're going to do. Because I think, he'll be part of Team Canada. I'd be absolutely shocked if he's not. So that's for them. But for Toronto, that's a good last 20 minutes, but it was a stink bomb for 40. It was bad. They were bad.
It's great that they've got a coach, too, that's not afraid to say that, Pierre. I don't know if you saw Berube's presser after. I mean,
No, I didn't watch. We didn't watch the presser.
He came right out and he said, yeah, that's great. We won, but what about the first 40 minutes?
Yeah, they were bad. I mean, the second period, they got outshot 17-3 in the second period. The one thing that saved their butts, and this is something that, people don't look at, like faceoffs aren't sexy. Pittsburgh got out faced off 59-41.
Oh, wow.
Percentage, 59-41. They got crushed.
Yeah.
And so for a team like Pittsburgh, that's got to be more of a puck possession team now, just because they're not old enough or deep enough. That's a problem. And then when they lost Noel Acciari probably in the first 4 minutes of that game, that fouled up all their lines too. So that's that game. I think Edmonton losing at St. Louis,
that's the one I wanted to get
was the game that probably caught my attention. And part of why it caught my attention, because Edmonton looked really good out of the gate. They did. And they were on St. Louis pretty hard. But St. Louis didn't mail it in. So it's a sign of a Jimmy Montgomery coach team. And what really amazed me was how poor Edmonton was in transition defense. And this is the same storyline game after game after game after game. And at some point, either the coach is just saying, you know what, we'll just outmaneuver and outscore the other team, or the coaches tried to get their attention and these guys just won't play to the script.
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear what Rick has to say about it, because he sees Edmonton a ton. I watched pretty much all their games, but it's the same. When they lose, it's the same script.
Well, and you say game after game after game, Pierre, but as you're saying that in my head, I'm thinking season after season. It's the same thing with this core. This isn't just something that's, specific to this season right now. This has been an ongoing issue that seems, I don't know whether you want to look at management or I don't blame the coach, because I think the coach is saying what needs to be said. I'm not there, but I mean, just hearing him talking after. So it's either the players or the management or both, and they got to figure that out, because that's going to burn them when it counts.
I will say this. Calvin Pickard played in goal last night, and he kept that thing close.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, I know they got a 2-0 lead, Edmonton, but Calvin Pickard was really good.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that won't go away in my eyes. Tonight's a heavy calendar on the NHL docket.
night.
And I know a lot of people don't care too much if you're in the Eastern climate, you're not paying attention, but Tampa at Colorado is a big game for both those teams. Detroit at Vegas, a huge game for both those teams. Winnipeg at LA is a massive game for LA. Really big game for LA. And if Anaheim ever beat the Florida Panthers tonight, that would kind of solidify, Jimmy, what we've been saying about Anaheim for a while.
Yep, and they're in my Betway picks tonight. We'll get to that later, but they are in there. You bring up LA there because I wanted to ask you about this when we were talking earlier, but I'll ask it now online. Pierre, I've noticed I kind of look at the different depth charts each day as you've taught me to do, and I've noticed for a bit now, Hiller's using 5 forwards on his first power play. Did you like doing that when you were a coach, or did you always want to mix a D-man in?
No, because we had Paul Coffey and we had Larry Murphy and Ronnie Francis could play in the back end too. And a lot of times we'd start the setup with Ronnie taking the face off, and then he was a left shot coming back and playing with Larry, who was a right shot. But no, we didn't have to do that. We could have. But when you got guys like Coffey and Murphy,
So he's doing that just because of necessity of the lineup.
Well, no, I think I don't know why he's doing that, because Doughty's pretty damn good still.
That's what I didn't get.
Drew's really, I don't know. I'm sure there's something. Sometimes coaches have to do stuff because players are hurt or there's something bothering them, and they just don't like to tell people.
But I'm with you. That's a big game for them. And then, Edmonton right back at it against Dallas. And that's no easy matchup either. Nice rematch of the last 2 years Western Conference Final, Pierre. They'll get Casey DeSmith for Dallas there because I believe Ottinger actually had a child. I think he had a baby. I'm not sure what.
Well, he didn't have a baby. His wife did.
His wife had a baby. Yes, good point. But he's over dealing with that, and congratulations to them on that. But as we've said before, though, I mean, I've listened to people kind of talking about the game on some other talk shows and saying, well, that's a good thing for Edmonton. They're getting Casey DeSmith. I disagree. I've always, we're big fans.
What? Our next guest can speak to the value of Casey DeSmith. Nobody knows the Vancouver Canucks better than Rick Dhaliwal.
And he was there watching Casey there. So let's bring on Rick Dhaliwal right now here on the eye test. There he is. Oh, what a shirt. I love it, buddy.
Well, I got it in the U.S. The wife bought it. Okay. But when you
Rick,
listen,
Rick, I just got back from Ireland, and the Belfast Giants wear our third jersey, and that's what their third jersey looks like. I am not kidding you.
Wow.
Yeah, you can see it online. It's amazing, but that's what their third jersey looks like.
That is a stylish shirt.
Pierre, we're right by the U.S. border, right?
Oh, I'm very well aware of where you are.
Yeah. So the wife went over to Bellingham, picked it up. After 30 years of marriage, you don't ask anymore. You just say, nice shirt, I'll wear it.
That's right.
No fighting. Just wear it and say, nice shirt.
Well, you know what? As Rod Stewart once said, you wear it well, my friend. There you go.
I love Rod Stewart. Rod Stewart.
Hey, listen, buddy, let's talk some Canucks, as we were just saying there. First of all, Pierre was referencing there, you got to see a lot of Casey DeSmith. Pierre and I think he's one of the better backups in the league. What did you think of him when he was there?
He was great, and they tried at the very end to try to get him signed at the very end, but they just couldn't come up with the money. And then that's why they ended up with Lankinen. And you got to give Lankinen credit. He went from $900,000 to $4.5. He did a good job, but the Canucks did a good job of holding out on Lankinen. They waited and they outweighted him. They outweighted him and the agent, and they did a great job. And now Lankinen and Demko give the Canucks one of the best 1-2 tandems in the National Hockey League. And this is the first time, guys, that this regime has paid money for a backup. Because usually they were only spending $700,000, $900,000 on a backup, right? Colin Delia, there was the other guy that went to Russia, but they were forced. Now the cap's going up, and now you're starting to see teams pay more for the backup, right? Yep. And when Demko's new contract kicks in, the Canucks are going to be committing close to $13 million for 2 goalies. That's unheard of in Vancouver. Unheard of.
That's a great point. That's a really good point. Hey, Rick, I know, and Jimmy knows, and you know how good the Vancouver Canucks are when Quinn Hughes is in the lineup. you got to admit, like, if they just did it based on most valuable player to his team, there are two totally different teams when he's playing and not playing. Am I wrong?
No, look at him last night. Driving play. Look at him last night. Driving play. The puck's on his stick. The other team can't take the puck off the stick. He was behind the net, the Nashville net. They didn't know what to do. Like, his hockey sense is through the roof. His skill is through the roof. The other thing, Pierre, you can have draft picks that are good. We've seen a million first-rounders, but this guy tries to get better every day, tries to get better in the summer, tries to get better at practice. He is the dream draft pick in terms of skill, will, the mind, everything. He's honestly, guys, he's probably the best draft pick in Canuck history in terms of low maintenance. Like, I mean, we kind of lucked into Pavel Bure. You know the red tape there. Pierre,
do I ever? And Berkey never lets me forget it either.
Yeah, well, you know the red tape there and how they got him to Vancouver. But he's a pleasure to watch. Best defenseman in franchise history by a country mile. This city is petrified of losing him. This city, every time his brothers say we want to play with Quinn, it starts an earthquake in Vancouver, 4.5 on the Richter scale. It's just like, it's just sitting there. He can play with his brothers in a year and a half if he wants. It's the biggest story. Will he re-sign? But you got to show him to re-sign. You got to be a good organization. You got to have the right culture. You got to do the right things. You got to have the right ownership. You got to have all those things. He's had too many coaches in the last 3 or 4 years, right? I think this is his 4th or 5th coach in the last 3 or 4 years. Show him that you're going to do it the right way. Show him you're on a path, a plan to being a great organization, not a good one. And maybe he sticks around. But boy, oh boy, he's got the hammer because he can go play with his brothers. He can do anything he wants. But it's the biggest story in this town because if that guy ever left, Pierre, you're losing best defenseman in franchise history. Not even close.
I agree.
Yeah. Let me ask you, in terms of Elias Pettersson, Rick, this is a guy we heard of all the stuff that was going on with JT Miller last year and with the feud and all that. JT Miller's gone now. So what are we looking at now in terms of what the situation is with him? Because I look at him, he just doesn't seem consistent enough for me right now. What's the feeling around him in the organization and the fan base?
You said it, consistency. It's he had 4 points in 8 games, right? Then he had the good weekend, 4 points. Now he went again 3 games without points. Now he picked up 2 last night. It's consistency. And, he's playing well without the puck. I got to give him credit. Mm-hmm. You know what? A lot of those guys that get points, they don't care about the defensive side. He's been strong there. You got to give him credit. But he didn't, and Pierre, he didn't get 11.6 on his defensive play. He got it because of points per game. He got it because he got a ton of points. And ever since he signed the contract, the points have gone from a point a game to about 0.65. That's not good. And on a hockey club with no Chytil, you don't have a second-line center. They're looking on the trade market. He's got to be the guy. They can't have him disappear for 2-3 games. Look, before last night, the previous 4 games, the Canucks got no points from their top 6 centers. That's not good. That's not good. Lucas Reichel, no points in 6 games since he came here. He's probably a better winger. But Chytil out really hurts him in the second hole. But he's got to be consistent. He's got to be a difference maker every night, or the Canucks are in trouble, or they're just going to be a middling another year in the murky middle. And he's got to be a difference maker every game, every shift, every practice. Rick Tocchet last year. You guys know Toc. He's a no nonsense coach. I love Toc. One of the best power forwards in the history of the game. He called out Pettersson last year and he said he's not moving his feet. His practice habits have to be better. These guys came from Sidney Crosby, who's the best pro on and off the ice that we've seen in the NHL. That's all they wanted him. They wanted to be a good pro. Get to improve your shot, move your feet, practice habits, off-season habits. Like Toc, he didn't hold back. He would publicly tell us in interviews all the time. So you know what? He had a good summer, Pettersson. Miller's gone. The feud, there's nothing wrong with it. There's no feud anymore. Miller's gone. He's healthy.
It's on
Just
him.
pull back.
Yeah.
And Pierre and Jimmy, if you're going to underperform with a massive contract, a Canadian market is the worst place to be.
Yep.
No
Agreed.
question. No question. So now I want to go down the dark path. How bad is Chytil's situation? Because that didn't look good.
Yeah, Chytil. I've had a couple of people tell me he's doing better, but it's still a process. And guys, this isn't Chytil's first concussion.
No.
You know, we had a guy from the New York Rangers media come on and say he had 4 or 5 there. He's had 2 in Vancouver. I'm sure his family and his agents and people close to him talk to him about his future. You have to after that many concussions. But I did hear he's feeling a little better, but nothing, no physical activity and to the point where, he's taking it easy. You got to take it easy here. You can't rush him back. Hey, listen, if you need another couple of months, you take it. But this isn't his first concussion, guys. This is, we're at the stage now where people close to him have to talk to him about his future.
That's great. Jimmy, I just want to ask one more question because Rick's so plugged in on this. Rick, I watched Abbotsford a lot last year. I watched them a lot. Why are they off to this pedestrian start in Abbotsford?
Oh, because they got 6 or 7 or 8 guys in Vancouver. That's why. They've lost 8 straight. Their blue line is East Coast Hockey League blue line. They got a 20-year-old Sawyer Minio who should be in Calgary, the Western Hockey League. He's getting 29 minutes a game. I feel for Manny Malhotra. This is not on Malhotra. He's got half his club up in Vancouver. Canucks have had 8 injuries. They're calling up guys from Abbey every day. The Abbey roster looks like East Coast Hockey League roster. Now, Kravtsov just left today. It's a gong show in Abbey. I feel for him, but he's got 7 to 8 guys. He's got 2 guys, Jet Wu and Brisebois, that can't play till Christmas or January with injuries. That was his top shutdown pair. Then he loses all his other defensemen in Vancouver. It's just, Pierre, it's not their fault down there. There's 8 guys from Abbotsford are in the Vancouver lineup because of all the injuries.
Yeah, no, I get it. That's why I just had to ask because I watch a ton of American Hockey League, and I just feel so bad for those guys. I mean, and Sheloffs was a guy who was the MVP of the playoffs last year.
I don't know, Rick. What did you think of that?
He's hanging high with Pittsburgh this year, guys.
I like him a lot.
He's hanging high. I know he got shelled at home 6-1 by the Rangers, but he's hanging up there, But a great job and Pierre knows this, and Jimmy, when your American Hockey League team wins the Calder Cup, it's a big thing. It means you're doing something right. And, who else doesn't get credit down there, Pierre and Jimmy, are the Sedin twins. When you can get 2 Hall of Famers to work with your young kids on the farm every day, and the farm team is 45 minutes away from Vancouver. When it was in Utica, it was a gong show. It was too far away. It was too far away. And now they've got Manny Malhotra. They've got a great staff. They got the Sedin twins. You know what? They got a good thing going in Abbey. It's a really, really, really good setup.
Yeah. Going back to the center position, Rick, you reported last week about the Canucks' interest in Pavel Zacha with the Bruins. I got to think now, and we follow, both of us together followed that, but I got to wonder now how willing the Bruins are to move Zacha, not because of that report that was out there that they want to maybe sign him an extension after next year. I don't know anything about that. I'm just looking in the present. They're now going to be without Elias Lindholm for at least, I'm hearing, 2 to 3 weeks. So you got to think they're not willing to move a center at this point.
No.
If that's the case, do the Canucks have a plan B that you're hearing about?
Well, first of all, 3 things are hurting the Canucks right now. Prices are sky high. Parity. Look at the parity in the league. Nobody wants to cough up anybody. You see any other trades?
Yeah.
And the other one is have fun getting a second-line center. I had another team tell me, where the hell are you getting a second-line center from? Who's sitting there going, let's give the Canucks a second-line center? Yeah. They don't grow on trees. No. They don't grow on trees. And if you got one, you damn well want to keep it. So The parity's hurting them. Nobody wants to move. Let's see at the 20-game mark. If the Canucks land a second-line center today, they're going to overpay massively. They don't want to do that right now. I want to talk about Pavel Zacha. His age, his size, and his salary make a lot of sense for Vancouver. And they don't have any 6'4", 220 centers that wear other teams down. Like, they're very, very light at the center ice position. You want some big boys at center to wear the other team down. They don't got that. They've been after Zacha for a while. I think Rutherford likes him. I think they've been after him for a while. He's the ideal fit in Vancouver. Canucks don't have a top six center like him. If there is a centerman available, the Canucks have called. If Kadri becomes available, if Stamkos becomes available, I would expect them to call, okay? And all these names that you're hearing connected to the Canucks, Canucks didn't start going after these guys last week. No. They've been trying since the summer. Yeah. They've been planting those seeds in the summer. And let me tell you something else. Patrick Allvin worked his ass off in the summer. Looking for a second-line center. I'll tell you something. I had another team tell me that Allvin was pretty frustrated in August. He found no dance partners. You know, he tried hard. Like, I got to give this guy credit. Like, he planted a lot of seeds in August to find some people, but there's no partners. There's no dance partners in August. You know, and who's coughing up second-line centers? Pierre, you know, you're a wheeler and dealer in the day. It's tough to acquire those guys. They don't grow on trees. And it's going to cost you a first-round pick. It's going to cost you a top prospect, you know, and right now they don't want to do that.
Well, they're not. The problem is, too, they're in a marketplace where there are not that many teams moving second centers because there's about 5 teams that think they got a chance to win that want to get a second center.
That's it.
Like Montreal this summer, Jimmy, you know better than anybody. They were knocking on the door with every team. So you had Montreal in the East, you had Vancouver in the West. I think you had Detroit in the central part of the country.
Carolina.
Carolina was another one that was knocking. Like, there were teams knocking on the door for center. And I like what Rick said. I'm curious what Rick thinks about this, Jimmy. I like the fact you brought up Steven Stamkos' name.
Yeah.
Jimmy Rutherford loves players from the Ontario Hockey League. He does, because that's where he comes from. He comes from there. And even though Jimmy was in Windsor and, you know, Steven was in Sarnia, like, there's a respect there. I like you brought up that name. I think Nashville, and you saw him last night, I think Nashville's in big trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, big trouble.
Yeah.
Shots on goal last night, 16-8 Vancouver midway through the game. They're on the third. The Canucks were playing 8th game in 13 days, tail end of a road trip, and they're outplaying them. They ran out of gas in the third, but they made it in overtime. Let me tell you about Stamkos. It's going to cost, in my eyes, around a second-round pick and a player. But I'll tell you this, guys, Stamkos, they're going to have to eat some of that contract. No one's taking that home. That's obvious. But it's still going to cost you a second-round pick and a player. But
that wouldn't bother me, though. I wouldn't bother me.
Somebody told me last week the Canucks have poked around other teams as well. Hey, you know what? Why wouldn't you? I mean, he's only got 1 assist, I think, in his last 9 games. It's not working there.
Yeah, he had a goal. He had a goal that bounced off his leg in Montreal, and that's about. I'm serious. Like, no. I feel terrible. Like, I've known Steven a long time.
Yeah,
I feel so bad for this guy. He's a good player. He still has game. I'm glad you brought his name up, Rick, because I think there's something to that. I do.
Oh, yeah. Do. I think teams are poking around him for sure and calling and asking how long before you put him out on the market, because there's going to be a lot of teams that take a look at him.
You know, Pierre, I want to take this back. This is my final question to you, Rick, but I want to take it back to a common theme that Pierre's had, and I think he's dead on when he tells us this a lot, is that it's not on the coaches as much as it is on the general managers and ownership and pro scouting right now. Our belief here is we're not going to see a lot of coaches get fired like we have in the past few years. The GMs know this, right? You think, and Pierre, you can jump in here too, being that you were in management before. Is that pressure maybe making some GMs, I know they want to do well, they want to get the right guy on the market, but is it also making them hesitant because they don't want to make the wrong move? They don't want to give up too much. Like, how's that affecting their approach right now?
Well, I can speak on Vancouver. I can tell you right now, Adam Foote, I think is like, guys, I think he learned a lot from Rick Tocchet. I think he's applying a lot of his stuff that he learned from Rick Tocchet. Let me tell you about Adam Foote. Never throws any of his players under the bus. The rest of the market does a good job of that. Never uses injuries as an excuse. He's a cool, calm leader. They've used, are you ready for this? They've used 30 players in 14 games. Wow. Not once has this guy said we're banged up. He's got no second line center. On some nights he doesn't have a first line center. His third pair of defense are two young defensemen with very minimal NHL experience, right? He has half of the minor league team in his roster every night. All of that. They're 7-7 and 2 points out of first place in the division, right? I think Adam has done a good job. He got the job, and I'll tell you why. Because they looked at this and said, if we bring on a new guy, it's going to take the new guy, the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks to figure out this dressing room. And there wasn't many changes in Vancouver last year, guys. All it was Evander came in, Suter and Joshua went out. Basically, everything else was the same. Yeah. And guys, this is a tight-knit dressing room. Everyone knows everyone, and the coach knows everyone. That's the big reason why Foote got the job, and they didn't go for some big name or blah, blah, blah. And he's got a relationship with guess who? Quinn Hughes, right? He's been working with Quinn Hughes. Look, when it comes to GMs in this city and the coach is safe in my eyes. Yep. This season boils down to me, can you win enough to convince Quinn Hughes if it goes south and they end up at the bottom of the standings, that's going to make it easy for Quinn Hughes to make a decision. But can you win? A lot of this, what they're doing is to make sure they're competitive so Hughes doesn't walk. Whether you like that or not, it's reality. It's reality.
Good. You are an amazing friend. Thank you for doing this. That was a lot of really good stuff. We're really appreciative. Thanks, Rick.
Appreciate it, Rick.
Guys, I love you guys. And Pierre, you not being on the radio in Vancouver is freaking sucks. You know what? Jimmy, when he was on 1040, I'd be in the car, and it's just the energy, the passion was burst out. Yep. Out of my Honda Civic. I don't have a Honda Civic anymore. But anyways, listen, I got a better car now. But listen, just listening to Pierre in Vancouver, and now the radios, we lost 3 a.m. radio stations. It's just bullshit. Terrible. Radio
everything's podcast. Everything's podcast now.
Jimmy,
thank you. Hey, Rick, you're a really good friend. Thank you so much for doing it. It means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Have a great day. Have a great day. See you later, guys.
Right. Rick Dhaliwal join us here. He's always a trip to have on.
No, dude, he's plugged in. Like all these other guys are fraudulent. He's plugged in. I'm just telling you.
Like he's complimenting you, rightfully so, about your passion. But I love the energy and the passion he has too when he talks. Pierre, he's great. Even I can feel when I text him. When I text him, great.
I think I did Vancouver radio for close to 20 years.
Yeah.
And then all the stations started closing.
It
was so sad. I'm telling you. Like, it was really, really sad.
Yep.
And
I remember, was it 1040? Was that the TSN?
I did 1040 for a long time. Then they had TSN radio, which was out there. I did that for a long time. I worked with a lot of really good people there. Really like super high-end people. And the time zone wasn't always great for me, but I always wanted to do it just because the fans were so amazing.
I'll tell you something.
Talent were so good. The people that I worked with, they were really good.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really know much about it, Pierre, until the Bruins played the Canucks in the 2011 final. And I was going back and forth, and I start meeting a lot of the media members there, and I keep in touch with them to this day. But the fan base, like one of my favorite things about my job, well, it is my favorite thing, is just going to Montreal because of the passion for the game there and the atmosphere and everything. Vancouver's like Montreal West to me, man. Like their fan base is amazing. And they were so passionate. They were so respectful to people that were coming in from Boston. It was fun. It was great.
They've never won the cup.
I know.
And, they went to the final 3 times and they haven't won the cup, and
Yeah.
that's hard to digest.
They go 7 all 3 times, Pierre? I know it was against
Uh,
Boston, against New York.
Rangers 7, Boston 7,
Who was the other time?
Islanders.
Did that go 7? Let's see.
I don't think it did.
No, that was like when the Islanders were in their heyday, right?
Yeah, I don't think it did.
Let's look this up quick.
Roger Nielsen was coaching,
Oh, God bless Roger Nielsen. There we go.
and Radar was coaching the Islanders.
It was
However.
the 1982 Stanley Cup final. Actually, no, they got swept. They got swept by the Islanders.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yep.
But it was Roger against Al Arbor.
Oh, wow.
I was going into my last year of college, and I just remember watching it, and the Islanders were just starting out. You could tell like these guys were really good.
Yeah.
You just could tell they were really good.
Yeah.
The top line with Gillies, Bossy, and Trotty was so good, and Potvin was so good on the back end, and Stefan Persson. Like the Islanders were like built to last. They were for about a 12-year period, they were so good.
Well, I hear you and Mitch talk about them a lot, and Mitch has always said if Bossy didn't get hurt, if he didn't suffer all those injuries in his career, he thinks he would have been neck and neck with all time.
I would agree with that. Mike Bossy had a real firm belief that you could teach people to score, and he really tried to sell that to teams around the league, and nobody would give him an opportunity.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And I was like, why not? And I wasn't in pro hockey then. I was coaching college.
Yeah.
But I just remember meeting him in Montreal at different rinks and talking to him, and he was really fun to talk to. I had some really nice conversation. And then I ended up, coaching Brian Trottier, who was one of his best friends. And I'd ask him he said, oh, nobody shot the puck like him.
Yeah.
Like
he seemed like such a great guy too, Pierre. I only met him once.
Mike was fun.
Yeah.
Mike was a lot of fun to be. I enjoyed it, like being
He had a
around
sense of humor. Yeah.
Yeah, very good sense of humor.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Before we get to our sponsors and my picks and then the Q&A, Pierre, anything else on the docket you want to talk about with the games tonight?
Philly, I know that they had this long homestand and they did relatively well to the last game where they did not do very well against Calgary. And this is an important game for them and for Montreal. You won on Saturday night. You stared the fire down, so to speak. You had a 2-0 lead. You got fat and dumb. Well, don't do that tonight.
I'm so glad you said that, Pierre. That's what I was going to ask you. Twofold question. On that note, is this sort of a game that you get worried about that maybe Montreal, not that they look ahead, but just that coming off an Ottawa game, the rivalry game like that, a desperate Philly team, it's got that feeling to me of a setback, so to speak. I'm not saying to lose.
No, but
be careful.
Yeah, and they're also probably looking ahead to their game in Jersey on Thursday. So as a coach, these are the games that would make you not sleep very well in the afternoon. Everybody takes a nap. I wouldn't sleep very well when I had these games.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much you believe in that whole trap game thing, but I think they're true.
No, there are for sure trap games.
Yep.
I don't know if this is a trap game. I just think Rick was really upset after their last game against Calgary. I bet you they had a couple hard skates. And so I think he probably got their attention. This is a big test for a lot, like Konechny. Anytime those guys that have a chance to be Olympic players, when they go through original 6 cities, they know. He knows tonight Suzuki's playing against them. Yeah. He knows there's a chance Suzuki could make the team instead of him. So Konechny's going to bring his A game. I don't know if Zegras is going to make Team USA or not, but he knows that Cole Caulfield's off to an amazing start. They used to be line mates with USA Hockey. That Zegras is going to want to look better than Cole Caulfield.
Yep.
So it's little things like that. And the fans don't need to worry about that. But I know, like when I used to coach, I used to look at all these different interpersonal relationship things that could happen in a game and be like, I didn't sleep great in the afternoon on those days.
I'm with you on that. And the other thing too, when it comes to Montreal, Pierre, Montembeault is going back between the pipes. If they were to lose tonight, do you think the pressure starts to mount on him?
No, the pressure's already on him. He's got to deliver tonight. I mean, he hadn't had a good start to the year. I know the team's playing well, but he hadn't played well.
Yeah.
Dobish has been better. I think Marty, out of respect, is giving him another opportunity. And if he does well, he may get the ball again Thursday night. But if he doesn't do well, I bet he's not going to play for a bunch of games.
That's what I feel like. I think we're at that precipice now where Marty runs with one guy for a bit.
Yep.
All right. Let's get to our wonderful sponsors here. And of course, we are so excited to have this new sponsor on Point S, where they are giving you a great contest here. You can win a set of GT Radial tires right at the perfect time. The offer's going until November 16th. Point S and GT Radial are offering you the chance to win a new set of GT Radial winter tires plus free installation at a Point S garage. A total value of $1,000. In order to participate, go to the Sick Podcast Instagram page, hit that like button and comment on the pinned post, and follow the Sick Podcast and Point S on Instagram. The contest, as I said, ends on November 16th. Point S is your trusted garage for complete vehicle care. And of course, our wonderful sponsors, Vago Italian. They combine old world classics and new Italian dishes for over 23 years. Private dining rooms for any occasion, open Monday to Saturday evenings and lunch from Tuesday to Friday. Located at 1336 Green Avenue, Westmount. For reservations, call 514-846-1414. Again, that's 514-846-1414. Pierre, I've been studying the gluten-free options on the menu. Looking forward to it. They look to have pretty much everything you want. You can do gluten-free there. So for people like me who are celiac, check it out. Go over to Vago right now.
We're going there next Thursday.
I know, a week from Thursday. I'll be driving up a week from tomorrow. Can't believe it's already here. We've got a busy month, Pierre. I'm loving this. We are in the bulk of the season now. Now it's really
This is the start of the season.
Yeah, it's moving, man. All right, so I'm going to get to my picks in a second, but first I am going to tell you about our wonderful sponsor, Betway. We love having them here. Bet the beauties with Betway. You go to that QR code right now if you don't have a membership and create your own membership, or go to the details section in the member section and fill it in there. They've got a wonderful deal right now, still going. You can get up to $300 back on your first deposit, even if you lose your first bet. So go over there right now and bet the beauties with Betway. You must be 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. Always bet responsibly, and this offer is not available in Ontario. All right, let me tell you my picks tonight. We'll go right to that aforementioned Habs Flyers game in Philly tonight. I got two things I like on this game. I like the over 5.5, and it's at 5.5. You don't have to go in and maneuver it or alter it. It's at 5.5 right now. It's probably going to go up, maybe even by the time we get off the air here, because I notice a lot of people are betting the over. I think there's going to be some goals in this game. Go over there right now. Take the over in that game. I also like this game to go to overtime. A second straight draw for the Canadians, a second straight overtime game against the Flyers. So take the draw there. You can get that at plus 360 value. Over to Minnesota. I like them right now. I think the Wild finally are. I'm hoping, just because I like Billy Guerin. I like that team. I like their roster. I think they're going to turn the corner. They get Nashville flying in late last night on the tail end of a loss at home to the Canucks in overtime. So give me the Wild on the puck line at plus 120. That's minus 1.5. They have to win by 2 goals. And then we mentioned earlier the Anaheim Ducks with another big test against the Florida Panthers on home ice. Pierre, I was texting with our great friend Joel Quinville today about Duncan Keith heading to the Hall of Fame next month. He's very excited for his former player. The Ducks right now are plus 136 underdogs on the money line. Give me the Ducks to win against the Florida Panthers on the money line. All right, let's get to the Q&A. What do we got? Franco, Pierre, Beck, and Florian Xhekaj have not looked themselves since being sent down. What do you attribute this to, and how do you help players who go through being sent down and struggle out of the gate?
It's really hard. I've dealt with it both as a coach, as a management person, and as a father. So it's hard to do. It's really hard. And it's about positive energy. It's about not giving up on your dream. It's about understanding that Things are going to happen over the course of an 82-game schedule. You're going to get another opportunity, but you got to make sure you maintain your identity as a player. What is it that made you catch their eye? Whatever that it is, you got to keep finding it. And if you don't find it, you're not going to get called back up. And so nobody's going to have a pity party for you in the National Hockey League. No, zero, nobody. But you got to support yourself. You got to have, a good core of people around you, and hopefully your teammates are very responsible. But it's hard, and I would agree. I could see Owen Beck's confidence was not very good the last time he was called up, and you could just see it, and it's unfortunate. And I still don't know why Florian got sent down after the camp, because I thought he had a really good camp, but that's what they did.
Pierre, I'm not making excuses for the kid, and you're not in his head, but I'm just looking at the whole situation. I agree with you. We don't know why he was originally sent down. We felt like he had a good camp. The words we got from the coach and everyone else, it seemed like he was on that path to staying. Yeah. When a player feels like maybe he's made it and he doesn't, can that crush him for a bit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've gone through it as a player, as a parent, as a coach, as a management person, as a broadcaster. I've seen it all. And they're all different vibes. They're all so it's really important that you don't lose. Like I said, what's the one thing that you did that got everybody to get their attention?
Yeah. All right.
What is it that you did? You got to get back to that in a hurry.
Okay. Next question. What do we got? Seamoke. What's up, Seamoke? Pierre, with how well Malcolm Celebrini is playing, do you see him making a Canadian Olympic roster? I can't see him being left off with his 200-foot game. Also, is there any chance Bedard can make it?
There's a chance for both of them, but I think Celebrini's ahead of Bedard.
I do too. Yeah.
I do. I just do. And, what are they going to do? Not keep Scheifele on the team? Leads the league in scoring?
Yep.
What are they going to do? Not put Tom Wilson on the team? What happens if Nick Suzuki keeps doing what he's doing? You mean they're not going to put him on? What about John Tavares? He just scored his 500th goal. And he's playing he's the most consistent Maple Leaf player.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, this is not a knock on anybody. To make these teams is really hard. I'll never forget this in 2010. We were at dinner, Gord Miller and I and my wife and his wife at the time in Vancouver. And we had an Italian restaurant that we like to go to. And all of a sudden, the table next to us had Drew Doughty, Jeff Carter, Eric Stahl. I'm just going around the table as I tell you this. And I was like, wow, what's Jeff doing here? And they said, well, they brought him in case there's some injuries. Jeff Carter was an amazing player. He didn't make the roster. And by the way, do you know who the support players were on that 2010 team? Marty St. Louis was one of them.
Patrice Bergeron.
And Stefan Robida was another one. No, Bergeron played.
Oh, yeah.
But Robida and St. Louis were support. They never played in the Olympics. They were there in case there were injuries. And at that table, Jeff Carter was another one of those players. And then they had to cut it down, and they told him the next day that he wasn't staying.
Yeah.
It's hard to be on an Olympic team if you're Canadian, American, Swedish, or Finnish, and back in the day, Russian.
Yeah.
It's hard to get on those teams.
Yeah. My biggest question is the goaltending, Pierre. I wonder if there's a guy that's going to sneak in, because we keep hearing Bennington, Hill, and who's the other guy that everyone's talking about that should make it? The third guy.
What about Montembeault? He was in the front.
Montembeault. Okay, so that was it. Yeah. So those are the three coming into this season that we heard. But out of those three right now, I'd only say Hill he hasn't even been sensational by any means.
I mean, what do you do with Darcy Kemper? I mean, he's going to be considered. What are you going to do? You look around. I mean, it's not that easy.
Jarry hasn't played bad.
Who?
Do you think Tristan Jarry would have a shot if he continues to play?
No, he's not. He does not have a shot. No.
But it's interesting. We'll see what happens with that. All right, next question. Randy Workman, Jimmy and Pierre, would the Flames get more for Anderson and Kadri now, or wait until the deadline?
They got to create they have to create almost a lottery type situation where people bidding war, I guess is a better term. Get people bidding. All you need are two teams. Get them bidding against one another. That's not going to happen yet, but it's going to happen soon. You got another 2 weeks before the bidding wars will start. About 2 weeks. U.S. Thanksgiving or just before.
And I think Anderson moves before, I think he moves before the Olympics. I'll put it that way. Kadri,
Well, I think both of them will be moved before the Olympics.
yeah. What about Kadri's contract though, Pierre? You think that's going to be
All right. They're going to have to eat some of that anyways.
I know. All right. Next question. Juice. Jared Davidson leads the Laval Rocket in goals this season. Did the Canadians call him up at some point?
Well, we thought at the beginning in the camp, he had a really good camp for a while. And then they you could see he got disjointed eventually at some point. But why? Everybody wants all these guys called up, but let's be fair. The team's playing well. Who's he going to play ahead of?
Yeah.
Like, who do you want him in the lineup ahead of?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the problem. I mean, if the team was playing poopy, you'd say, get him up here, send somebody else down.
Yeah.
Who's he playing ahead of?
Right. I know. That's the tough part. I mean, the Canadians are so deep. That's why.
Let's just do the wings, okay? Is he playing ahead of Demidov?
No.
Is he playing ahead of Slavkovsky?
No.
Is he playing ahead of Caulfield?
No.
Is he playing ahead of Newhook?
No.
Is he playing ahead of Anderson?
No.
Is he playing ahead of Gallagher?
No.
Okay, so what if he's playing on your fourth line? He's never going to score in the NHL. So who's he playing ahead of?
It's injury is the only thing that can maybe do it.
That exercise I just did with Jimmy, when you think about it, when you're sitting at home and you're like, why don't they bring that guy up? Do the exercise.
Yep.
Who is he going to play ahead of?
Yep, and go one by one down the line there.
Just go up. Just do it. You'll see. And be honest about it. Sometimes, I've done this exercise with Jimmy before, and I'm like, you know what? I got that guy wrong. They should bring that guy up and send the other guy back.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll see something you didn't really think about before when you do it. Yep. All right, next question. Boner 5409, Pierre and Jimmy, have you been surprised by the performance of Burakovsky so far this year? It seems he's having a resurgence playing alongside Bedard.
Yeah, no pressure.
Yep.
There's zero pressure. Just go play. Have fun.
He
thrives in that kind of an environment.
Yeah, Chicago and San Jose, they're out there having fun.
Just go play and have fun. That's a good thing for those franchises going forward. It is. It's a really good thing.
All right, next question. What do we got? CB-ZC2XY. Thoughts on Adam Fantilli's game thus far? Minutes have been reduced. He has been underwhelming. Thanks, fellas. He's not off to a good start.
Yeah, you know what? The other day I actually thought he was a little bit better. I was watching him. They were playing at home, and I thought he was a little bit better. And hopefully he gets his feet moving and starts making play. I think he got a little too slick.
Yeah.
But they're starting to get going too, Columbus. They're starting to play a little bit. I thought against the Islanders the other day, they deserved a better fate. Columbus did.
Sure.
I thought he was better in that game. I thought he was moving his feet a little bit more. And I thought the game before that at home where they had won, I thought he played relatively well.
Yeah, speaking of our Betway people there too, another thing to look at, Pierre Marchenko. I mean, he just shoots that puck nonstop. He doesn't hesitate. He's averaging like 3 shots a game. So,
well, the guy that's really been impressive there, and I don't know what the texter or the questioner would think about it, but that Werenski is.
Oh gosh.
He's really playing well.
He's great. Really. All right, next question. What do we got? Colorado Realtor. How is Fowler looking in Laval? Are we still excited about him?
Yeah, of course. We're really excited about him. They're fine. It's all good. It's all part of the process. Get a little sand kicked on you. Figure out how pro players play. Play 3 games in 4 days. Play 3 games in 2.5 days. It's all part of the process. It's okay.
All right, next question. Ethan Russell, what's up, Ethan? Do you think the Habs will carry 3 goalies next year if Fowler does make the NHL team? Or do you think Fowler plays another year in the AHL? And thank you. Happy birthday to me. I appreciate that.
They're not carrying 3 goalies. If they are, he won't be the 3rd guy. That guy's playing.
Yeah.
So they're not carrying 3. All
right, next question. Derek Rendell, Pierre, when a GM has some fleece trades on his resume, Carrier/Barron, Bolduc, Mayu, does that deter other GMs from wanting to do business with him?
No. How do you know that Bolduc and Mayu is going to be a one-sided trade? Because Bolduc's kind of cooled off a little bit. He's playing on the 4th line. What happens if Mayu gets going? He's just a kid.
Yeah, that's the one I was going to say. Just give it time. Like, I don't think that's going to be a fleece in the end. I think it's
Yeah,
going
I
to be.
don't think that's going to. The other one is a fleece.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I'm telling you,
Good question, though, Pierre. Like, do you think, though, like, are other GMs like, oh, I better watch out for this guy?
sometimes, but most guys that have those positions, they're pretty
Confident.
self-assured. They're not really that concerned. They all think they're smarter than the other guy.
Which can be a problem at times.
They all do.
All right, next question. CB-ZC2XI. What has driven Beckett Seneca's early success? He really Q clearly appreciates the kid's game. What do you feel his ultimate ceiling is? Oh, and how about Lucas Dostal thus far?
Dostal, I just talked about Dostal on Pittsburgh radio with Mark Madden. He's been great. Really happy for him. Obviously, a lot of people thought when Gibson got traded out, things might not be as good, but he's been really good.
Yep.
What else is I mean, Seneca is it's a good one. I mean, he's always been a good player. There's a reason why he was a top 10 pick. I mean, he's a good player.
Yeah.
And he scored a goal the other night. I was like, whoa, that's really special. He's a good. You can see Quenneville trusts him too. He puts him on at different times where you might not put a young guy on. He puts him on, so it's good.
All right, next question. Boner 5409. Roman Kantsarev is having a really good season in the K. His deal expires at the end of the season. Can you see his play translating to the NHL surface?
I can't speak to it. I haven't seen the player play. I apologize. I wish I could. I haven't seen the player play.
All right. Next question. Randy Workman, Jimmy and Pierre, is a 2026 draft picks. Are they going to be graded like gold, making it harder for trades?
This draft should be good.
Yeah.
It should be better than last year's. So picks are going to be valuable.
Yep. You might see a lot of conditional put onto that, right, Pierre?
I'm going to tell you the one trend that's going to happen. If you're smart, all these teams are looking at the players that were drafted that weren't signed, that have moved on to be older players at college. That's going to be the new marketplace.
Mm-hmm. The college free agent.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next question. Franco, Pierre, how much does Stamkos have in him?
I still think he does have game. I know. I got a text the other day after I did Montreal radio, and I talked to Mitch Melnick about it when Nashville was in Montreal. I said he still has game left, and a friend of mine texted me who's a big hockey guy, like he makes his living in hockey, and he said, I don't know if I agree with you. And I said, well, I just know the guy. I know the person, and I also have seen the player perform, and I think he still does. We'll see whether I'm right or wrong, but I think Steven still does have game left.
I think he's just in a bad situation.
It's just a really tough situation there. I don't know what's going to happen. That was not, even though they got a point last night, that wasn't good. They better have a big bounce back game tonight in Minnesota. And you can see, Jimmy, I'm not making excuses for them. When they don't have Roman Josi, and they haven't had him for a while. When you don't have Roman Josi there on that team, that defense is not great. It's just not great.
All right, next question. Simok, Pierre, how do you like Artie Levshunov? Play of late, he seems to be really stepping into his game on both sides of the puck.
Agreed. A great question, a good point, and I totally agree. Watched him a lot at Michigan State too. He's good. He's going to subtly evolve. I watched him play in the rookie tournament this summer in Minnesota. He's subtly going to evolve. He'll be good. He's going to be good.
All right, and I think, is that it? That's it. That's what we got for our questions today. Thanks to everyone for your great questions, as always. Thanks to our good friend Rick Dhaliwal for joining us.
Rick, thank you. Rick was great.
And thanks to Shane working the boards up in Montreal. And thanks to everyone else out there listening and watching. We appreciate it. He is Pierre McGuire. I am Jimmy Murphy. This has been another edition of the Eye Test on the Sick Podcast Network.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Eye Test with Pierre McGuire and Jimmy Murphy on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.